Yes. So I took a quick nap, right? I was actually watching Attack on Titans before that. I just started it. My cousin put me onto it. I don't want to say I'm grateful. I don't want to say anything. The reason I'm telling you this is because I want you guys to understand what kind of person I am. I want you to understand where this craziness is from, right? Not that it's from Attack on Titans, but I'm a very multi-dimensional, multi-faced individual, right? But I want you to understand and I woke up from this nap, right? And words were I don't know if I was dreaming anything, but I heard these words, right? And I don't know if it's something I heard in what I was watching a few minutes ago. I mean, before I slept, not a few minutes before I slept, or if it's just something affecting the whole world or something that is to come. I'm not prophesying anything, but it's weird, right? And I don't know, I may have heard it or seen it somewhere. Popular culture, you know how internet is. Protect each other and the world because the world is hurting. So I don't know if I heard hurting as in the world is hurting or the world is ending, but I remember I heard protect each other and the world because the world is hurting. Let's just say that's what I heard. And I'm concerned because if you think about what's happening right now, we basically, I don't know if it's just a scare tactic or these elites not wanting to admit that they were on the Epstein files, so they would rather bomb places up or confuse us. But wars are escalating, right? I don't want to bring the Bible into this, but if you think about the prophecies and nation standing up against other nations or rising up against other nations, the conflict and all these wars you've always heard about, you're not so surprised. Here's what's happening right now with this whole war. I'm going to use AI for the purpose of speed and because I don't want to read through a whole article. Or maybe I should find an article instead. Stay with me. So we're going to read this from BBC. Something interesting my lecturer said actually is the more you read these news articles, the more you read, it's the more you stand out, even if you don't have, like, let's say, matric certificate or qualifications, but it's the more you stand out in the business world industry. I don't know how right she is, but I mean, she gave us a lot of examples that I'm not going to mention here, but what she said was convincing and did make sense, right? Even though I'm not a fan of reading, but this is probably something we're going to be doing more. But back to the video, we're getting sidetracked there. So we're reading this on BBC, right? I don't want to get a copyright strike. The last video got a copyright strike, even though I was commenting through the whole thing. This algorithm is so fucked. But anyways, why did the US and Israel attack Iran and how long could the war last, right? So it's a full-blown war right now. It's a full-blown, look at these pictures and everything. So conflict across the Middle East has entered a fifth day after US and Israeli strikes on Iran, in which the country's supreme leader was killed, right? So Iran has continued to respond by launching attacks on Israel and US allied states in the Gulf, which have extended to non-military targets, including civilian sites and energy facilities. The fighting has escalated quickly, pulling in Cyprus and Lebanon in recent days, with casualties and damage mounting on all sides. Okay, but I'm looking for the reason as to why is this happening? What has been happening in Israel? Yes, the US and Israel launched I'm not saying anything. Launched widespread strikes on the 28th of February, targeting Iran's missile infrastructure, military sites, and leadership in the capital, Tehran, and across the country. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, I don't know how to say it, I'm sorry if I butchered it, who led the country since 1989, was killed during the first wave of strikes. Israel's military said dozens more senior figures in the powerful Islamic Revolution Guard Corps, the IRGC, were also killed. So this is a serious war that's killing very powerful and influential individuals. But I saw a lot of videos. People have two sides and they feel different about leaders all the time. I mean, if attacks were launched on us and it killed President Cyril Ramaphosa, God forbid, I mean, despite how I feel about the man, I wouldn't be celebrated because that's not an attack on... I mean, it depends on how it is, but like if they attack, let's say is it the Constitutional Hill? I don't know, or wherever he's sitting, and you hit one of our sites. And I feel like that's going to be an attack. That's a full-blown attack on South Africa as a whole, right? I wouldn't celebrate his death. That's literally what I am, because then it means we're in shit, right? It's the reason a lot of people are praying that it doesn't get involved with this, but we're obviously going to be pulled into it. Why is Israel? Think of Iran. I don't want to bring up conspiracies. So since the weekend, the US and Israel have continued to target key sites. Israel said that it included a covert nuclear compound. Iran has repeatedly insisted its nuclear program is entirely peaceful. Something I've always found interesting. Why is it that it's this big? Apparently, I read into it a bit. I don't know how true it is, but South Africa used to have a nuclear site, but it was decommissioned. I think it was decommissioned during the apartheid. It was launched and decommissioned during apartheid. I think I need to read into it, but we had the ability, guys. We had nuclear power, buffet too, but because of diplomacy and our relationships with these international powers, we had to, I don't believe that's a whole lot of crap. We were forced, and we were forced to decommission, because how many African countries have publicly admitted to taking part in this nuclear war? Not nuclear war per se, but like preparing, but like with nuclear weapons. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot that's happening right now, and this is literally what's happening. So if this escalates, I mean, it's obviously gonna pull in a lot of. I pray it doesn't, but if it does, I fear not. But fear too, it was prophesied a while ago. These things are gonna happen. My problem is that it's always in the Middle East, though. It's the same issue as South Africa, minerals, oil. Guess we'll wait and see. So I really hope the world wakes up, bro. Prophecies for Gale, we just don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Hope that wasn't something I thought of out of the blue because I'm so dramatic. Dramatic in the sense that I hope that isn't a warning. You know what I'm saying? If you consider the amount of influence I have already. Yes, I'm him. No, prayers out to everybody who's affected by this in Iran, in the Middle East, all those Gulf countries. I don't know, Cyprus, Lebanon pulled into. I don't know how long it's gonna be until everybody else is pulled into this nonsense war, just fighting like a bunch of, you know what I'm saying? The world told you to grow up and be real, you know what I'm saying? Like, be realistic. The world told you to stop acting like a child, but these leaders are literally children, bunch of toddlers. You know what I'm saying? Well, why are we fighting? Why are we fighting? I'm telling you, it's as simple as that. Why are we fighting? Or because who doesn't like who? Or because who didn't like who said what? Who doesn't just want to admit what? You know what I'm saying? It's garbage. It's garbage, and it's unfortunate that we're losing lives in the process. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate that we're losing lives in the process. Why do people live to die? You know what I'm saying? Just so you can prove a point. I wanted to read more into what happened in Hiroshima, Japan. That basically happened because the US wanted to prove a point. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm not as educated as I want to. I will. Just as wealthy as I am already, I will become knowledgeable in these matters. Stay safe, y'all.
You're not really into politics. Okay, fair enough. But what are you into? Transformers? Pokemon, you fucking child? Sorry, but this election affects you in ways you couldn't possibly imagine.